In a village where the jacaranda trees bloomed purple, lived a man named Adwin. Adwin loved order more than anything. His tools were arranged by size, his yams were stacked in perfect pyramids, and he believed his life, too, should be just as neat. His wife, Zola, was the complete opposite. She was a whirlwind of life, a song on the wind, a dancer whose feet seemed to never touch the ground. Zola's laughter was like a river, wild and free, and it often spilled over the neat banks Adwin tried to build around their lives. He loved her, or so he told himself. But her spirit was a constant disruption to his peace. "Zola, why must you sing so loudly?" he'd ask when she greeted the dawn with a melody. "Zola, your pots are not in the right order," he'd grumble as she cooked, her movements a joyful dance rather than a precise routine. He saw her freedom not as beauty, but as chaos. He wanted her to be predictable, to be a quiet, constant presence that fit neatly into the box he had designed for his world. He wanted the Zola he first met, the one who looked at him with wide, admiring eyes, not this vibrant woman with a mind and will of her own. His frustration grew into a gnawing obsession. He tried everything to tame her. He'd hide her dancing sandals, criticize her singing until her voice became a whisper, and praise her only when she sat quietly beside him, a perfect, silent doll. But Zola's spirit was too strong to be caged. The more he tried to control her, the more she yearned for the open sky. Their home, once filled with her vibrant energy, became a place of tense silence and unspoken resentments. One day, after a particularly heated argument over Zola's desire to visit her sister in the next village, Adwin felt a dark resolve harden in his heart. He couldn't live with this constant defiance. He couldn't bear the thought of her leaving, even for a day. That night, under the cloak of darkness, he journeyed deep into the forbidden forest. To the hut of a mystic known for his strange and powerful magic, the mystic's eyes, ancient and knowing, seemed to pierce through Adwin's soul. "You seek to control the uncontrollable," the old man rasped, his voice like dry leaves rustling. "You want to turn a river into a puddle." Desperate, Adwin ignored the warning. He offered the mystic his most prized possession, a beautifully carved staff that had been in his family for generations. "I want her to listen to me," Adwin pleaded. "I want her to be obedient, to stay by my side, to be mine, as a daughter is to her father." The mystic sighed, a sound of deep pity. He took the staff and gave Adwin a small, potent gourd. "One drop in her morning tea," he instructed. "She will become as you wish, but be warned, every choice has a shadow. And the one you make tonight will cast a long and dark one." Adwin rushed home, his heart a frantic drum. The next morning, with trembling hands, he administered the potion. Zola drank her tea, smiled her usual radiant smile, and then, something shifted. Her eyes, once full of fire and knowing glances, became wide, innocent, and trusting. She looked up at him, her memory of their life together erased, and asked, "Father, what shall we do today?" A thrill shot through Adwin. He had won. The first few weeks were everything he had ever dreamed of. He called her Little Zola, and she followed him everywhere, a shadow of perfect obedience. She sat quietly while he worked, her hands folded neatly in her lap. She never sang too loudly, never danced without his permission, never questioned his authority. She was his perfect, compliant daughter. His home was finally orderly, quiet, and peaceful. He was content, but the peace was shallow, and soon, cracks began to appear in his perfect world. He started to miss the sound of Zola's unrestrained laughter. The very sound he had tried so hard to silence. The house felt too quiet. The silence now oppressive rather than peaceful. He found himself humming the songs she used to sing, only to stop, a hollow ache in his chest. One evening, a traveling musician played a familiar tune in the village square, a song that Zola used to dance to with such passion. He saw little Zola tap her foot gently, a faint echo of the woman she once was. But when he asked her to dance, she simply looked at him with a confused smile and said, "But father, you have not taught me how." In that moment, the full weight of his loss crashed down on him. He hadn't tamed his wife, he had erased her. He had traded a vibrant partner for a hollow echo. He started trying to reverse his mistake. He would tell little Zola stories of the woman she used to be, the spirited dancer, the joyful singer. "Your mother," he'd say, choking on the lie, "she was a wonderful woman. He brought her dancing sandals, but she only used them as house slippers. He played her favorite songs, but she listened with polite detachment. The woman he loved was gone, and in her place was a constant, living reminder of his selfish folly." As years passed, little Zola grew up, still obedient, still devoted to him as her father. Suitors came, drawn to her quiet beauty, but she would always refuse them, saying, "I must stay and care for my father." Adwin was trapped in a prison of his own making, haunted by the ghost of the love he had destroyed. He was no longer a husband, but a lonely caretaker. He had a daughter, but he had lost his wife, his partner, his everything. He had achieved perfect order, but in doing so, had created a life of profound and unending emptiness. His world was neat, clean, and silent, and in its silence, he heard only the echo of the laughter he had foolishly, tragically, silenced forever. Thank you for watching. If this story resonated with you, please like, share, and subscribe for more tales from around the world. What did you learn from Adwin's story? Let me know in the comments below.